here at the Bezier Games booth and with designer and publisher Ted Alsbach, and we're going to go over the castles of Mad King Ludwig.
Hey there! So what we have here is a tile laying game where every player gets to build their own castle. And the object of the game is really to build the most awesome castle possible. King Ludwig he's king of Bavaria in the 1860s, and he really didn't have a lot of kingly things to do, so he spent all his money building awesome castles. For people who visited them, they're always amazed that anyone would go to the lengths that he went to make castles just look as amazing as they did. And he actually built them to look awesome, not to be defensive, not for any other reason, but just to have great castles, which I think everyone can go, if you have a lot of money and you want to spend on something, why not build awesome castles? So that's where we are in this game. We're all basically trying to build the best possible castle for King Ludwig. So every turn, the way it's going to work is one player's the master builder. They're going to have this token in front of them, so I'll act as the master builder right now. And the master builder's job is to build the rooms in everyone's castle that turn. In order to do that, he has to set the prices for the different rooms that are available. So he can move these rooms around to any locations, whatever seems to suit him. And once he's done with that, the player to his left will decide what he wants to buy. He can buy either a room from this display, he can buy stairs or a hallway, or he can decide, you know what, I don't want to build anything this turn, I'm just going to take 5,000 from the bank. Just take some time off and regroup and figure out what to do next turn. Most of the time though, they're going to buy something from the display. So, for instance, on your turn, let's say you wanted this stables. You would pay me $4,000 because I'm the master builder. So that goes to me. The stables would then get added to your castle. And we just line up the doorways, and once that's done, you're going to score that. You always score the points in the upper left part of the room right away whenever you place it. So you're blue, so you would get 5 points. You also may score the conditional points in the center of the tile. In this case, this is saying 1 point for every brown room that's connected to it. So a brown room is something like this. If that was connected to it, that would be additional points. In this particular case, they line up really nicely. There's actually 2 doors there, and you would get an additional point for doing that, which would be great. After that, the next player goes, they buy a room, the next player. When it comes to the master builder's turn, he pays the bank for whatever's left. And of course he has to go last, so he's trying to price things so he gets as much money extracted from the other players as possible, while at the same time leaving something that he wants available for him to purchase at a reasonable price. Ideally, the master builder wants to set his things down here if nobody else wants to. He can figure that out by looking around and seeing what people are looking for right now. After that's done, let's say we've got a few more rooms that have been built by other players. All the rooms that have not been purchased get a coin placed on them. A 1,000-mark coin is placed on them. We turn over cards from the room deck to determine what cards come out next, which rooms come out next. So we'll turn over 1 card for each of these empty spots that are here. So in this case we have a 500, a 150, a 350, and a 250. So those are out, those are done. And the interesting thing about this room deck is that that's the timer for the game. When the room deck is completed, the game's over. And at that point we'll have built anywhere between 12 and 15 rooms depending on different things that happen in the game. We'll place these out here. You're the new master builder. Now you can reorganize these, including the ones that have money on them. You can move them any place you want to. And the next player will continue. We'll continue around like that. A couple interesting things about this are, whenever you complete a room, you're going to get a special reward. To complete a room, all the doorways have to attach to either other rooms or a hallway or stairs. They can't be blocked off and they can't be empty. Once they're completed, you're going to get that reward instantly. So if you complete one of these outdoor rooms like you have right there, you'd get 10,000 from the bank, which would be pretty awesome. If you complete one of these orange rooms, you get some of these bonus cards. These bonus cards are going to give you points at the end of the game. In this case, they're all unique. This one says for every 3 points you get, or every blue room you have in your castle, you're going to get 3 points. It gives you kind of a direction to go in terms of what it is you're looking for. Complete a yellow room, you get an extra turn. All the different ones give you different types of rewards. They're all unique, and it actually helps determine which rooms you may want because you want a certain type of reward during the game. At the end of the game, we're going going to score a couple different things. These are the king's favors. In Suburbia, those of you who played Suburbia know that, well, there are goals here, like fewest and most of something, and if there are ties, well, nobody got anything. Well, in this case, the king's a little more generous with his points giving. So in this case, there's a tiered system. Whoever has the most of each of these is going to get 8 points. Second most will get 4, third most will get 2, and whoever has the least will get 1, as long as you have one of those things. In this case, the first favor is square rooms. Square rooms would be these 400 size or these 100 size rooms. So everyone's going to count, see how many they have total in their castle. Whoever has the most gets 8, second most gets 4, 2, and then 1. This one is for blue rooms, if you have blue rooms in your castle. This one's interesting. This is the square footage of those ground rooms, the activity rooms. The square footage is located both on the backs of the tiles as well as in the upper right corner of each of the tiles. And so you're going to add how much square footage do you have of these types of tiles in your castle. And the last one here is money. Whoever has the most money. Now these are just 4 of the favors that are in the game. There's actually 24 different ones, and so each game's going to be different based on whatever favors are out there. So you're always going to have a different thing that you're going to be focusing on each game. The number of players determines how many of these favors is out there. So in a 2-player game, you'll just have 2 of them. In a 3, you'll have 3, and in a 4, you'll have all 4 out there. Also at the end of the game, if any of these stacks are depleted, you're going to get 2 points for every room you have like that in your castle. So if you've got 2 of these big circular rooms in your castle and the stack's empty, you're going to get additional 4 points, which is nice because it's a popular room. Then we score bonus cards, and then you get 1 point for every 10,000 you have in points at the end, and that's it. So scores end up ranging around 100 points or so for a 4-player game, a little higher when you have less players. If there happens to be a tie, which is not very common, but it does happen, this has what I think is one of the most awesome tiebreakers ever, which is the total square footage of your castle. So if you have a tie, you're basically going to add up all the square footage of your entire castle. Whoever the biggest castle wins, which is kind of cool too. And that's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Ted. I appreciate it.
Sure thing.